Hello, this is William again. We're just getting going here again on the afternoon to evening show. Now, this is a new show. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put some albums on. We've got Elvis Presley with Hound Dog, and that was recorded live at Louisiana, here right in 1955. Now, you can see it for yourself. You can see what's on it, and I'll read them to you. Heartbreak Hotel, Long Tall Sally, I Was the One, Money Honey, and you need to subscribe to be on this part of the show and give a donation. So we haven't got anybody on this part of the show yet. Well, I don't know if anybody's looking, you see. I got a woman, blue suede shoes. I got a hound dog, I call him Elvis. And baby, let's play house. Yes, I played house. Maybelline, I've heard of her before. That's all right, Mama, don't worry. The Blue Moon of Kentucky. You'll not see it from up there neither. Once in a blue moon. There's good rocking tonight. I got a woman. I got a woman. Twice. Probably got two women now then. Well, they're both different times, and it's the same writer, but he probably had two versions of it, you know. And Tweedledee, an interview with Elvis. So I'll be putting some up on the boards for you so you can have a look at some of those songs. And that's really just all it is to it. I'm just make a few albums and just put on for you. How about this one? Elvis's Love Songs. It's Now or Never. Are you lonesome tonight? Well, tune into the show. Heartbreak Hotel. One Night. It does tell you when they were recorded, you know. That One Night was 1957. I Need Your Love Tonight, 1958. Now and Then, As a Fool Such as I, 58. As Long as I Have You, 58. Any Way You Want Me, That's How I Will Be, 56. Love Me, 56. Blue Moon, 54. True Love, 57. Have I told you lately that I love you? 58 recorded. Love you because 54 recorded. I don't care if the sun don't shine. Recorded 1955. 4. And I'm counting on you. Recorded 1956. 15 on there. And that's Elvis Presley love songs. I'm only going to do 1, 2, or 3. This one, it's okay, lost the cover. But it's still a good album, and I have played it. Elvis Presley, Volume 1. Burning Love. Yeah, that's on here. Top 1. Can't Help Falling in Love, Love Me Tender. Hound Dog, Jailhouse Rock. Songs always do cross over from one album to another. Jailhouse Is Now or Never. I'm not too sure about what Blue. Oh, Blue Christmas. Must be a Blue Christmas, yes. You give me a mountain. Suspicious Minds. Heartbreak Hotel, all shook up. And Ghost too. That's in the ghetto. My writing. And blue suede shoes. Um, don't be cruel. Return to sender. Always on my mind. That's all right. Stuck on you. Viva Las Vegas. Surrender. And a little love on what? Saturday. Little love on Sunday. And there you are on that one. Oh, I've got the one on the other side. It is Elvis. Elvis and Friends, this though. So they're not all Elvis tracks. Some of his friends. Got this one. Got his 30 number one. He got a more Elvis with proper albums. These albums with sleeves. Albums with boxes I'm talking about. 30 number ones. Got that. Now this is Elvis before anyone did anything. Elvis did everything. That's what his manager would say. But not completely true. Not completely true, because before you had Elvis come on the scene as a big artist, about 1955, about the end of 1954, you had Bill Haley. Well, he wasn't as big as Elvis. But there was other big artists before the 50s. And this fella, Bing, he did a lot. He started in the late 20s, 1928 or 29 or something, and he sang a lot of hits through the 30s and 40s. He's still going in the 50s, and he's had even hits since then. White Christmas was recorded in 42. So that's Bing. So before Elvis did anything, Bing did it. Did a lot. He was one of the leading artists. Now, if you look for a leading artist before Bing, you'd be looking for something to bring you up from, say, about 1910, 1915, up into the 1930s. And that probably biggest artist would probably be Al Jolson. He had lots of hits. And before that, if you're looking for probably the biggest artist to take you back to the 1800s or the very 1900s, start of the 1900s, probably would be Billy Murray. Had a lot of hits there, everyone hit. And there you are. So that's just the artists just split into different eras from the 50s when Elvis took over. Now you've been looking for somebody in the 60s, you would have said, well, the Beatles, but they only lasted till the early 70s. And there you go. So what did Elvis do then on this one? He did Heartbreak Hotel, Love Me Tender, Can't Help Falling in Love, Suspicious Minds, Love Me, Burning Love, Have I Told You Lately That I Love You, Kentucky Rain, Don't Cry Daddy, I Want to Be Free. And there you go. And that's Elvis. He did everything. So man just this. Yes. Well, you might as well see some of these. See, I've got them out. There's Cliff cracking the champagne there. He turned up at the Platinum Jubilee last week. And he sang from a bus stop. Well, yeah. Well, that's one way to get a crash the party. And there's Cliff with his champagne. The paper said he didn't want to go on the stage because he couldn't get down from the bus rooftop. He's looking kind of frail these days. Well, he's still getting about. That's what they said. And Elvis Presley, and there he is. We got more Elvis, and we're going to do them all at once. And we'll go with Fred, where we lost the cover. Cliff's other one, he always famous at Christmas. Cliff again. Thompson and Jones is here. Scrooge. Who's acting? Who's acting? Oh, Tony Christie. Christmas with Christie. That's very much later on. And we've got thousands of other albums. What else do you want to see? There's thousands in here. Literally thousands. I'll have to try and put my hand in this little cupboard here to get some out. I thought I'd got some out for you, but if you just want to flash through, flashing through is all right. The colored possibly play all these in a day. So just flashing is okay. Whose album is it? Guess. You haven't got a clue. If I show you the back, will you be able to guess the front? Whose album is it? Who's happy and who's not happy? And the cloud haunter is happy. He says hi. I wonder how he knew I was coming on at this time. Shall we open it up and see? No, it's just junk on the inside also. So whose album is it? Happy Mondays. There you go. Now, whose album is it? Who? And there's the back. And Sherlock's up there, but he's not going to guess them. Whose album is it? Okay, read it. It's the Pet Shop Boys, 25 years of their story. Okay, easy one for you. Whose album is it? Whose album is it? It's the Dave Clark 5, or commonly called the DC 5 sometimes. And there they are, very big in the 60s, like, with a lot of hits that were bigger than the Beatles at first. Just for a little while till the Beatles got rolling, and then along came the Rolling Stones. Yes, the Dave Clark 5. These fellas wanted to imitate the Beatles and wanted to be a big band, so American television got working with them at Hollywood. Screen Gems, wasn't it? The Monkees. And there you are. And there's Little Davy. I've done some of these before, just showed them kind of do all the songs. And what's left of the Beatles? Ringo, yeah, we know Ringo, but there's also Paulie. And there he is, Paul McCartney. And he got his songs on there. This was when he was live in Los Angeles. Did you go to see him? And we've got these kind of things. Oh, go on forever. Nazareth. And when you get sick of Nazareth, you can watch Uriah Heep or listen to it, AC/DC. And on the other side, the Scorpions. Guaranteed to blow your brains out. The Best of Survivor. And these kind of put other ones on as well as Survivor. Kenny G, Linkin Park, and some Metallica on there for you. Where Aerosmith have virtually got the place to themselves. And the Best of Meatloaf is on there also. Guess who? Guess who? There's the name for you. Pat Benatar. So there's Pat Benatar there. And I have to pull out another handful. Blindly, because I'm not going to be looking in the cupboard. I'd be down on my knees for that. The Temps, the Temptations. All to come in the series. I'll do all of them for you. Haven't got the cover, lost it again, but didn't matter. Talk, the best, very best of Talk. Silver on the other side. Travis, and the best songs there. All Saints, surely they're not All Saints. That man in the black hat is not. All Saints. These are the guys. The Beatles. And got songs from the albums on here. Hard Day's Night, Abbey Road, Greatest Hits, Love album. Selection of songs from the albums there. The Man in Black. I don't know who he was. He always wore black. I never seen him wearing any other colour. Johnny Cash. He used to be known as the Man in Black. He had a television program hopping on and off trains. I mean, that was Smokey Joe's, so he's bound to be black. So there he goes. With his black shirt on, his black coat on, he's always black. Oasis? Anybody for Oasis? Just a selection of songs from the album Don't Believe the Truth. That's probably just somebody talking. Bruce Springsteen, Greatest Hits. And on the other side, I put Phil Collins. Just an introduction on all this. I can only put up one or two, in a session. So just to show you some. 10cc, have you got any cents left? Alive? Rubber bullets? Wall Street Shuffle? Have you got your money in Wall Street? I haven't. The Osmonds. 50th anniversary tour. And there's two of them. And there they are. Let's take them one at a time. Including Marie Osmond and Donnie and Little Jimmy. Little Jimmy was singing when he was a boy. But of course, that was in the 70s, he's a man now. Well, Donnie wasn't very old neither, but I mean, there they are. And Marie, Donnie and Marie. They're all Osmonds. And there's that photograph. Let's go back a bit. What about the Everly brothers? There's none of them left now. But the Everly brothers, very good in the 50s. Not the top act, as Elvis would probably be, and Bill Haley and them up there. The best of Simon Cowell. He hasn't sung a song yet. Only the artists that he's discovered, you see, like Westlife, Five, Gareth Gates, Robson and Jerome, Westlife, another track of theirs, Five. And Curiosity Killed the Cat. Got one on there. Bands that he's managed and that. A few more before we go. And they were very active at the Platinum Jubilee last week. Queen. But Freddie wasn't there. But Brian May. And of course Adam Lambert has taken Freddie's place. Used to be Paul Rogers, but then it was Adam Lambert singing. And Queen keep on trying to patch up, you know. And there you go. Queen songs rock you. Something a little bit harder. How about Linkin Park? In the end, nothing really matters. And there you are, a selection of Linkin Park albums. And if you don't think Linkin Park are so hard enough, they probably are. But I mean, a legendary Nirvana. Legendary Nirvana, and got a lot of songs on there. A lot of different albums. Made plenty noise in the late 60s and early 70s. So they could rival Linkin Park, maybe, and Nirvana in those days. Deep Purple. Smoke on the Water. Got a bit of Dire Straits on here as well. Look, you can see Mark Knopfler there at the bottom. And got a bit of Rainbow on here as well, yeah. They made a Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. Made a bit of a noise. Oh, nice smoothie. Let's have a nice smoothie. Oh, yeah. A nice smoothie. There he is, Barry Manilow. Sings Mandy. Mandy. But he's got a lot of other songs there. Barry Manilow. Britain's answer to Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan was a country folk artist in America, early 60s. And probably one of the biggest folk artists not here in Britain, Donovan, who had several hits and didn't really trouble America too much. And of course we had Bob Dylan over here. The Animals at first were very strong, and later became Eric Burden and the Animals. And a few more. A few dollars more. Yeah, Del Shannon, very good in the early 60s. I would say he's rocking just as well as some of the Beatles songs. On some of them, he's his greatest hits. A country artist. Often teamed up with Kenny Rogers. No. Dolly Parton. And as she goes, 9 to 5, Jolene, Baby I'm Born, Dolly Parton. And Guitars on Fire as well. Biggest group in 1960s, this group They backed Bob Dylan for a while. He was more known than what they were, so they just backed him as his backing group. And then, of course, later became the Birds. Byrds. Confusion arose because Britain had the Birds. Birds. So I think the Birds became over here the Yardbirds, or they were in that line. And but they had new members, like, but different form a different band. The Birds in America, greatest hits. And there you go. We'll move on to the 80s, touching into the 90s now, when Annie and Dave, the Eurythmics. Ultimate collection from the Eurythmics. Best in late 70s and into the 80s, and even stretched up practically to the 90s. The Police, Sting. Sting went his own way. He starred in a movie and he was called Sting, so there he was. He's supposed to be in the Police. And there he goes. Bit harder, perhaps. White Snake. Yes, White Snake. Another one from Nirvana. A bit more of a tidier one. Some of the remastered ones on here. Well, time for a 2000 into 2010s artist. I think still going around. Yeah, I haven't heard from her lately. Rihanna. Yes, that's Rihanna, and she got a lot on there. The ultimate Oasis this time, with most of the tracks on there from the albums, the better tracks. That's Britpop. That's Oasis. Recognize this fella? Recognize that fella? Recognize that fella? Flying around in his car on the TV doing adverts for insurance. Iggy will give you some insurance. Iggy Pop, I think still around. Started in the late 60s with the Stooges. I Want to Be Your Dog, so which is on here. One of his better songs. The Passenger was a hit for him, A Real Wild Child, things like that. Lust for Life was another hit that he had. And there he is, just a selection of his hits. Always had his shirt off, of course, even at festivals, even in the street. Iggy Pop. And there he goes. And this fella, David Bowie, select Bowie. And there's the other side. And there's David again. We haven't got him now. He's left us. Genesis. Genesis. 3 hit singers in Genesis. 3. From the late 60s through to the 70s, I had Peter Gabriel. He cut a solo career. He had Phil Collins stepped up then to be the singer. And Phil Collins went on 70s to the 90s, early 90s. Mike Rutherford after that. And they had a few hits as well. So there you go. Genesis had many singers and not many songs. And this guy, I'm going underground. Not on this one, he's not. Paul Weller. That's entertainment. In the Jam Style Council after that, and Paul Weller with the best of Paul Weller. There he is, I was just mentioning him before. Genesis' first singer, 60s to 70s. Peter Gabriel, acting as a spaceman. There you are, Peter Gabriel. Such hits as Sledgehammer. Yeah, Salisbury Hill, Don't Give Up, and all on there. Here's Robbie on his bike. Come in, number 37, Robbie Williams. Can I see him for the dust? No. Well, his bike's just a mud bike, not on proper roads. A scrambling type bike. He just kicks up all the dust. And there he goes on those American highways. Well, that's Robbie Williams. We'll try just a few more. And then we'll go. Stranglers with their friend the Rat. Wherever the Stranglers go, there's a rat. And there he is again. The Stranglers. Best in the punk days in all late 70s, but they stretched into the 80s into the rock songs, Golden Brown. Something better change. Mostly in the 90s, he had a few hits. Seal. He had Crazy, Killer, and Kiss from a Rose. And that's Seal. American artists who often have their shirts off also. There's another one, the Red Hot Chili Peppers often have their shirts off. Iggy had his off all the time. Creed. Sometimes they do. Greatest hits of Creed, My Own Prison, Human Clay. It's just some of the albums. But there's one last breath, My Sacrifice, with Arms Wide Open, Higher. So Creed songs there. Oh, let's really get it and make it disturbed. Sound of Silence. Sound of Silence, Art and Garfunkel first of all, in the 60s, but did not have a hit with it on their album Simon and Garfunkel. So a British folk band, Bachelors, recorded it and had a top 10 hit with it, The Sound of Silence. But in the 2000s, along came Disturbed, and they took it and they had a big hit with it. And now you go, Disturbed. Now, only other one I think got into the charts, but Down with the Sickness. Sting from the Police. And there he is, Sting. Gordon Sumner, I think is his proper name. But Sting, he always goes by. Fields of Gold, things like that. Sometimes we lose the cover. Lisa Stansfield, well, yeah, in the 90s she had a few. Late 80s as well, she had a one or two in the charts. We know the songs because they're on Blondie from the end of the 70s to the 80s and had a few hits in the 90s again when they started touring again after a while. Hanging on the telephone, yeah, picture this. I liked all those. On Blondie. Well, I'll have to stop shortly because I'm going to have a cup of hot chocolate. Errol Brown, hot chocolate. I believe. You sexy thing. Your brother Louie. Emma. Yeah, they're all on here. A cup of hot chocolate. And what will I have with me hot chocolate? Same as the girls have. A banana. Banana-rama? Would you like, she's saying, would you like a banana-rama? Let's have a banana-rama. Let's have 3 bananas. Oh, I'll have a one with me hot chocolate, she says. And there they are, running on the sand, running on the beach. Would you like a banana-rama? Yes. And there you go. More? There's thousands more. Because Tuck's here. Jacko, Michael Jackson. Got Ben on here, Billie Jean, Biggie, Thriller, Smooth Criminal I like, because I like Alien Ant Forms as well. I've got theirs somewhere also. And there you go, Michael Jackson. From 1958 he lived to 2009. The Hollies. Many groups got started about Beatles time, you know, because the Beatles manager was signing up groups there. In Liverpool, Manchester area, and they were all playing at Cavern and that. I've been to see the Cavern in Liverpool. It's a dingy place, I think. Well, it was only just a small club, you say. There's not much room in that street for any expansion. There are Cavern Club, Cavern Bar. And there's the Hollies. They played there. Hollies were from Manchester. But Hollies had many hits in the 60s, stretched into the 70s with the air that I breathe, things like that. Had many hits this band over the last 40 years, since starting very late 70s. It's U2, and got many of the hits on there. U2 can have a go anytime you like. We never knew this band, you know, but I heard of them even in the 60s. And they were supposed to be taking America by storm, and they blew away. And no, we never got them over here. But we heard about one of the records. That was the main one. Spiral Staircase. More today than yesterday. About 1969 it is mine, some 68, somewhere around there. And we got a whole album though, you know, of stuff what they did in America. Never came over here. Another American group, but of course very, very famous since 1962, even going before the Beatles, Going Surfing. Beach Boys, Surfing USA. And Surfing Safari as well. California Girls, there they go. Beach Boys. The Doors. Hard to read the Doors, because Jim Morrison was dead by 1970. So many years had he been going since about 66. Not a long time, but they developed quite an array of songs, which were not. Light My Fire wasn't a hit until the 90s for the Doors. Was a hit in the 60s, but by Jose Feliciano. He did his version, folk version. Break On Through, we got Strange Days, Love Me Two Times. Another one, the Grassroots. Big in America, practically every song that they recorded mostly went into the charts. Over here, just a slight one. Midnight Confessions. Let's Live for the Day was heard of. People kind of knew it, but that's the Grassroots. Smokey was from England, went to America to look for newfound glory. Smokey was what over here they call, like singing ballads and that. In America, call them slow rockers. And there you go, Smokey on there. But they weren't the only one. Plenty others are not kind of seen, which they followed over there. Pat Benatar. Once I lost the list and I made a list, and of course then I found the other backup just on there, so I just left the two. And Neil Young, mostly in Canada, but in America too, he's very popular, Neil Young, and he's still going. And who's on? Oh, who's on with him? Anybody I can see? Oh yes, Air Supply, Bee Gees, and Kenny Rogers on that side. On the other side, we got the Gin Blossoms. Yes, used to like a lot of theirs. Heard some of theirs and still can remember them. Air Supply, Bon Jovi, MLTR, and the Cars' greatest hits. Also on here. This is the Dire Straits one, but it's Dire Straits with Mark Knopfler. Mark Knopfler's doing it's still their song, but it's just with a kind of later band that he had, when he split and became Mark Knopfler. Well, he still had a Dire Straits, but it wasn't the original Dire Straits. And there we go. And Pink Floyd. No, it's not Pink Floyd. It's Pink. Pink's greatest hits. Lenny Kravitz. Or you're going to go my way, things like that, end over till it's over. He was quite big with a few hits in the 90s. And I think that's it all, because it's my time to go now. I just wanted to do an hour or so for you. And I will put up an album, but I cannot put up all this lot. Must have covered about 50 to 60 to 70. But I'll get through them, even if it takes us 10 years. Because I've got another 2,000 up there. And that's it, and I'm back to the ones I left here. so I could see that was Elvis Presley's Hound Dog and Elvis's love songs. And we might throw in Elvis, whatever he did before he did it, and the fella that did do it, and bing, and there you go. Yeah, so that's we've been on 45 minutes. Yeah, I said I would just do half an hour or so, but there you are. Because 3 shows in a day take a lot, you know. I do the new in the morning, and then I'm off into 3.5 hours of master streamers. You know, and sometimes nearly got 4 hours there. I'm on after 9, although it might be 9:15. Sometimes I'm off for one, but sometimes it takes pushing it right to one. And I try and take a break. I thought I would come back in the evenings and just put on 1 or 2 albums. ADP 445 says hello, and he says very cool. You have a nice channel. Just Dallas, hi ADP. And Music Enjoyer, hello. Hello to everybody then. I'll be back in the morning with the William live show. The new part comes first, what we call new. Try and highlight the newest ones and get them a shout out. And then, of course, on the master stream as well, that's fully booked. You see, you cannot get on there. So that's why I thought about maybe coming back early evening, late afternoon, and just do a couple of albums each day. Because I'm still stuck on the compilations, you see. So that's it for now then. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the morning. And I will put some album up for you to have a look at. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.